Guys, I'm so happy with these Sagat buffs! Ah! Sorry, I just had to get it off my chest. That's all I've been fucking thinking about. So I went super duper ham in the paint today when I woke up, and I made this nice little. So of course it's a work in progress. I have to still see like what works, and then rewatch my archives and just try to level up the stream. So just bear with me if there are any mistakes and stuff like that. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen when you do stuff like this. I took today rather, right? These are all the changes in the boxes, and then my perception of them. So what I want to do for the stream today is I want to go through this, all of this, talk about it, demonstrate it. Simple as that. He's actually better than... He got buffs that I didn't ask for. And those buffs actually ended up making him better than the things I would have asked for. Because I would have asked for, like, quality of life shit. But then they were like, nah, let's make this character have credit for these. I bet. Ah! Sagat buffs! Okay, sorry. I have, like, a syndrome. You guys hype? Oh, hype. I'm hyped because I got you guys. Ah! Alright. So, let's start off with expanded the hurt box during recovery of stand heavy punch. Alright. So it's important to keep this in mind now because it's much easier for opponents to whiff punish. This is the last patch. This is winter patch. Okay, so let's go. Let's put them on the same frame. So this wasn't broken. This wasn't broken compared to what it could be now had it stayed the same. The reason why it would be broken now is because now Sagat has so many things for you to consider. So then if he whiffs stuff like this aimlessly like a gorilla and you can't whiff punish it, that shit's mad cheap. But, this is a good nerf. It's a balanced nerf. I agree with it. Just keep that hurt box out there. This is a poke that you shouldn't really be whiffing in the first place because look at his original position. I'll put my mouse there, right? And now look at where he is when he's active. Like, look how much farther forward it is now, right? So you whiffing that attack, that's on you, man. You gotta work on your spacing. Stop trying to get goo goo gaga out here, right? I don't mind that nerf. Okay, next. Crouching medium punch. The upper half of the hitbox no longer hits airborne opponent. Personally, I don't give two shits about this. Because when the fuck would Sagat ever do this, right? Like, it's just happening. This does not affect Sagat. Sagat doesn't give two shits about whatever. This is more so for, like, random characters like Bison and stuff like that that have those buttons that they're not intended to anti-air, but then they end up putting the opponent in air reset situations where the grounded opponent now, with very low risk, very low commitment, gets a 50-50 situation. That you can't back roll out of because it's an air reset, so you tech in place, right? Stuff like that. That shit's... It's the risk reward of it would like against somebody like a Bison, it doesn't make sense, right? Or against a Guile, you jump in on a Guile and it's like crouching jabs you. It's like, why does he get this? You already are really difficult to get around, right? Chun-Li also. Crouching medium kick. This is a very significant buff. I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna highlight all of the buffs that I think are significant. All right. Reason why I think this is a great buff is because of this situation right here. Sometimes I would pressure, right? With like pokes. And I'd have V-trigger. And maybe I would back up and I would use crouching medium kick as like a shimmy or as like a whip punish or just to like kind of stop somebody from walking forward. And then I would do heavy shot, right? But because heavy shot was slower and the pushback on hit of crouching medium kick was so like it was a little bit further. It wasn't significant, but it's enough, right? It was enough for a situation like this to happen where they would block, right? So then I get this to not work. I would dash up +4, but now I'm not in throw range. I'm not in throw range, right? Not in throw range. There's no threat here. People will just walk back because they know, right? They don't care. So this situation would suck. I would only want to activate if it hits. So when this hits, I'm thinking, oh, low shot hit. All right, cool. I'm gonna do this, right? And dash up and I'll get my corner carry. Everything's gonna be fine and dandy. You know, because this is important, right? Look. But no, instead, this would happen. I dash up. And now I've lost the one guaranteed way I can get pressure range established with very little risk. The only risk is obviously if you jump over my fireball. But in terms of if you're on the ground and you don't go through my fireball or over my fireball and you're there, I'm going to get some sort of dash up pressure is basically what I'm alluding to, right? But then you have that weird inconsistency. I've lost countless matches because of that shit. Where I would hit somebody, but it doesn't combo. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? So, this crouching medium kick buff, by reducing the pushback, the opposing character doesn't get hit as far away. You have to remember, with fireballs, there's travel distance, right? There's travel distance. It's from the initial point of when you fireball to when it actually makes contact. So, if I hit you with a poke, it obviously hits you and pushes you away, right? But because there isn't as much, it's reduced pushback on hit, you're a little bit closer to me. So my fireball's going to get to you sooner. So as the window is counting down from the hit stun, right? Because when you get hit by a move, you retract, right? And then you recover eventually. Before you get the chance to recover, my fireball connects, and then I get the V-trigger activation, you know, and I get the dash up, right? So what we talked about. So this buff helps minimize the chances of that happening. So now no matter what, if I hit you with this is a guaranteed combo. That is amazing. This is a great buff. I'm mad happy about this. I'm ecstatic about this. So let's look at the pushback of Fireball. This is another point I was going to make about crouching medium kick, right? The reason why this buff is mad important, right, is because of... Let's watch the pushback on block and on hit. So on block, that was about like, what? We'll say like 5 squares, right? 5 squares. That's with the low shot, right? Let's look at it on hit. Do you understand how important that spacing, that difference in spacing is? Let me show you why that's a very important. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you. Peep this shit. Let's say I do this. That's plus 10. Okay. I can get a fireball trap off of that, right? That's cool. But look at this. Oh. Plus 13. I have an extra 3 frames of advantage because of the pushback on hit versus on block. I did the same exact fireball sequence. I did heavy low and then light low. Alright. That plus 13 is significant. It's like, you think 3 frames, who cares? What is that? Because that it can make the difference between me being able to dash up and do something, or whiff punish something, or me being able to Kara knee now, or me being able to do EX5. Like, it's just so good. That's just mad important. So at that range, it doesn't really matter as much because of the fact that I'm at a range where regardless of if you get hit or not by the fireball, as long as contact happens, I'm going to get a fireball trap established, right? But you see, that was plus 8, so I can't even throw a fireball after that. But that's because of the fireball buffs. We're going to get to that later on. Plus 14. So that's a fireball trap. You cannot jump that fireball. I will guarantee DP you. That shit is so powerful. It's so powerful because these are situations that players would typically just because of that 3-frame difference. If I am +9 when I throw a high shot, I can DP you. If I'm +10 when I throw a low shot, I can DP you, right? So imagine if I'm at a situation where I think I'm +10, but I'm actually +7, and I throw a fireball and I get DP, I get jumped in on. And then all this momentum happens. And you know this game, it can easily be about momentum, right, guys? So with that in mind, you know, having a buff like that is so important to consistency of so many things, but especially the fireball game, right? Now, a lot of players don't see the fireball game at this like, you know, micro level because it requires a lot of like studying and experience. But just to simplify it, I want to make sure I have enough advantage so when I throw another fireball, I'm protected enough to where I could DP a jump in. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Okay. I got the other changes. Right, I'll be able to get those DP windows a lot more. And that's less for me to worry about. And the less I have to think about, you know, the more I can shit, right? And the more, you know, decisive, the more fearless I could be, you know what I'm saying? So. Oh, Shuckle, nah, bro, we were just trolling. Don't worry about that, man. Thermite's the homie. I just wanted to have some fun. People are crying on Twitter about the game in general. All right. Other things. Ooh. Yes. Look at this. This is another thing. The consistency of which you can do this now. This is really good, actually. That's really good. So you can still get kind of bodied. But it works pretty much at like almost. That's a really good buff, right? And then if you couple that with like B skill 2, you're now getting stuff like this. Okay, if they blocked it, who cares, right? I mean, if they get hit, that's great, but if they block it, who cares? Because +4, and I'm in throw range, right? So there's a lot of things that get affected by this. Sagat is the type of character, Street Fighter in general, to be honest, like most characters are designed where if you change one thing, it'll drastically change other things, you know. And this is one of those examples. EX Tiger Shot, increased knockback time on hit, reduced knockback distance on hit. This is a huge buff. At first, I didn't get it. I was like, what the fuck? But hear me out. This is pretty good. What up? Yo, still training. What's cracking, bro? Would crouching medium kick work since knockback was reduced? Yeah, for what? Into Tiger Shot? What's up, Ultra? What's up, Extra Cakey? Yeah, both the low shot and the high shot are faster on the heavy versions. Yo, Booth, man, it's funny, man. He's so strong, man. It's crazy. I think he's really good. I'm gonna hold off. I have to see how the other characters got affected, but he has potential to be top 10. That's just what I think. Doesn't mean I'm right, but just based off of like the consistencies that he now has access to, plus the buffs, and he already does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage. So yeah, I still haven't messed around with V-Shift. I have to do V-Shift dedicated stream. But I'm just so excited about these changes. That's like all I've been focusing. Okay, so yeah, so this is huge. All right, so it allows for consistent Oki pressure. All right, with the EX high shot. The reason is, check this? Oh. If hit somebody with this, it keeps them up for so much longer that you can now Kara and dash up. Kara heavy. Look at that. And I was still plus, like, I was plus 15 right here. I can just walk up. Pressure. Right. Right. So, it's insane. Oh, so that did the same amount of damage? That did the same amount of damage, but I did not use... I didn't use 2 V-triggers. Okay. So I used less V-trigger. That's actually pretty godlike, because that means I could get the same damage as long as I have the meter. As long as I have 1 V-trigger and I have 2 bars, then I can get the same damage regardless. So that's really good. Damn. This is some shit. Yeah, Commander Frank, when I first saw it, right, the same shit happened to me when Champion Edition came out. I played it, I was like, yo, he didn't get anything I wanted, what the fuck? I was like, damn, this sucks. This was at Capcom Cup, right, because I was there. I was playing in the after party, whatever, and they had the setups, and I was playing it, and I'm like, alright, what the fuck? I come home, fly home, you know, next day, whatever, and then I streamed, right, and, those that were here probably remember I was like, man, whatever. And then I started reading the notes and I started doing stuff. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? He has a lot of good shit now. Still wasn't great, like, the character still was ass, in my opinion, but it was a lot better, right? So I remembered yesterday, I was like, I had that knee-jerk reaction last year, or the last patch. I was like, this time I'm gonna wait a week before I decide, like, if he's bad. Right? If he's good right away, I'll say it. But if he's bad, I'll at least wait. Didn't have the buffs I wanted. Okay. But he had the faster fireball. And I was like, okay. But then when the notes came out, that's when I was like, oh shit. And then Automatic was like, Zaf, you gotta look at the Kara knee. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? Unbelievable. He got buffed in all 3 phases of the game. Zoning, his offense, and his defense. So fireball pokes will be stronger because it'll reach opponents sooner and be harder to react to as a result, which I mentioned earlier. Heavy kick shot to maintain range while being will be significantly stronger because it will reach opponents sooner and nullify walk and block. So walk and block will be a lot harder because of this. Okay. So if I were to like show you with Ryu, see how I'm trying to walk up, and I'm like, I'm not even near the original position. This is really important to have as a zoner, because this increases the chances of somebody lashing out, jumping, being frustrated, getting very sluggish, right? So now we can basically do that with Sagat. Before, you could just walk Sagat, you could just walk in on Sagat and it just didn't mean shit, right? Now, because of the increase in the speed of his heavy shots, especially the low shot, right, which you cannot crouch underneath, he's gonna have that as an option. So maintaining spacing is really important with fireballs in certain aspects of neutral, against certain styles of player, against certain characters with or without access to meter for both characters. That having that at my disposal now is a beautiful thing, right? So yeah, before it was not. It was like the way Fireball worked before. I don't understand how I won with this character, bro. It's like his Fireball was best as a poke and then wait like this, because it didn't really force you to do anything, you know. But now it can force you to actually do shit. Beautiful. Before it just gave a fuck, right? Like, okay. I'm gonna just walk and block your fireballs, where, you know, I'm gonna just, you know, whatever. There was nothing really to worry about. But now you have all these other buffs that kind of play into it that increase the significance of this character's mid-range. And we still haven't got to the best buff. Okay, so these are the things we talked about, right? We talked about the expanded hurt box recovery on stand heavy punch, crouching medium punch having, you know, no anti-air properties or whatever. Can't anti-air basically, right? I don't give a shit about that. We never used that for that, all right? Crouching medium kick having reduced hit back, like pushback on hit. Amazing buff. Awesome buff. Heavy tiger uppercut having extended hitbox on the first 2 frames. Awesome. Really good for anti-air situations. Kara DP situations where people jump over fireballs. Great buff. Now, all of the orange ones are like the best buffs, right? But this blue one is the greatest buff, in my opinion. We're gonna get into that, but let me just finish this. High Tiger Shot. Increased speed. Amazing. EX Tiger Shot having the change in the juggle potential. Amazing buff. Completely changes Sagat's Oki situations and conversions. Ridiculous. Like, this is one of those changes that you could not recognize on paper. You have to go into training mode, play around with it, and you're like, wait a goddamn minute. What is this? Who gave him this? And then you call out, see me, I would call them and then just tell them how much I'm grateful for their decisions, even though it took them years of my life for them to do these things. That's neither here nor there. Others, maybe you want to call and custom out because your characters are still trash. I don't know. I've left that boat as of today. Okay? I'm not thinking about that negativity no more. That change coupled with this, which is the change to Kara knee. So regular knee looks like this, right? Look at light knee. Like, this is medium knee. And this is heavy. See how slow they are? They're very slow. Even the V-Skill versions, they didn't change the startup. So light knee is 12 frames to startup, medium is 14, heavy is 20, and then EX is 14. So EX is the same as medium, light is the fastest at 12, and then heavy is the slowest at 20. Okay, which is why it looks very telegraphed. Slow. Right. Now is Kara knees though, meaning canceled from the cancelable whiffed pokes. Forward medium kick and forward heavy kick. You can Kara these buttons. Okay. What you're doing is you're canceling the startup of the poke into special attack. So you'll see the startup of the move come out, and you'll see fireball. Right? Now, or you can also do this with DP too, right? What they did is they sped up startup of when it's canceled from these 2 moves. So instead of it being, you know, the 12, 14, 20, and 14 moves, right? Now what it is
Zap Arena. I can't even. My mate, I did it. The king.
Escaping jail. Thank you so much for the follow. Shouts to my big bro Hamad. I love you, bro. Yo. Yo, Tali. What up, bro? Love you too, dog. And so yeah, they reduced the startup from these, right? Now look how much faster that is. Do you see how fast it is? Like, ignore the moving part. Just look at the tiger knee. You see how fast that is? Compared to the regular version? see that? That's light, right? This is medium. Regular medium. Now look at Kara medium. Right? Yo, AOG, this is nuts. And this is the heavy. This is regular heavy. This is Kara heavy. Okay. This, bruh, crush. They changed the frame advantage on block from -4 to -2. So that's in V skill 2. Yeah, that makes sense because light was 0, heavy's -2, I think. Yeah, -2 at worst. Light is 0. Medium kick is -2 at worst, which makes sense. I think it should have been like that. Heavy is also -2 at worst. EX is 0. And now V skill 1 still has its trust me, it still has its uses, bro. But it's gonna be in those matchups where the opposing character cannot be on the ground with you. Like those characters just can't hang. Like Seth, V skill 1 all fucking day. Because you're gonna DP Seth. You know what I'm saying? Seth's not gonna get around on the ground. He's gonna jump at you. Especially if you play at the ranges where his Tatsu's with. You're gonna get frustrated and try to jump and do the whole jumping mix-up game. You know? Yeah, they buffed the shit out of her. Thank God I played Sagat. Thank God I played a buff Sagat. That's such a great feeling. Akuma got away again. Damn. Nah, the V-skill nerf is pretty significant, but he's still a beast, obviously. He's just maybe not the best. And that matchup against Sagat's about to be terrible. Oh my God, bro. Like, yeah, medium, Tiger Knee, and V-skills are safe against every non-super, basically, in the game. If it's not a super, the only fast enough supers are Laura's, Zangief's, Akuma's, basically. That's actually punish it on block. So I never really have to worry about somebody punishing me. Thank God. So I could legit, because remember, I said this before, medium knee is the best Tiger Knee, right? But now I can just Kara medium knee and not get punished or care about it when I have V-skill. And then on top of that, the buff to the speed is like, it's going to be overwhelming, right? And it could be up to +4 on block in V-skill.